You are going to miss out on your entire life, on your good years and the years you have left, waiting until you're perfectly ready. Like waiting until you're perfectly healed, waiting until everything checks off, waiting until you have perfected your craft or your talent, waiting for all these things that might never happen. And the reality is that for some people, they're sitting here saying, one day I'm going to feel ready. I'm going to feel perfect. And when I'm perfect, that's when I'm going to take the leap. You are never going to be perfect. It's an unrealistic thing. It's unobtainable. Why? Because there is no such thing as perfect. Even the person that has perfected videography or podcasting or writing or relationships or whatever it is, even that person that is an expert in that field is still not perfect. They're still flawed. They still make mistakes. They're still growing, but you will never grow if you're not in the thing that you desire to grow. There is no plant that grows outside of soil. And if you have not put yourself in a position to grow, you will not grow. It's not going to happen because you're so afraid to take the step. And if you read any self-help book, literally every single self-help book, it comes to this one thing: burning the boat, taking the step. That Alexander the Great story, right, where his men were in this fight and they were losing and they were outnumbered 3-1 and they wanted to run away. And what Alexander the Great did is he burned all the boats. There were no other options. I'm going to do this thing, win or die. Until you realize that you have to step into this, until you realize that nothing is going to grow without your effort, until you realize that you will not be in the thing that you desire to be, you're not going to step into it. And what's going to suck and what's going to hurt is 10 years from now, 15 years from now, that you miss out on something that you were capable of doing now, but because you were so afraid you didn't take the step, that later on you're going to be 40, 50 years old wishing that you had started this thing now, or 60. And it's okay if you're at that point. I don't want to disqualify people of that age, because that means that you have to start now. But you're going to miss out on so many memories, on so many things that were meant to be beautiful, because you were afraid to start. You're afraid to do the next thing because you have been scarred or hurt or wounded, or somebody's told you that you can, and now you believe that you can't do that thing. And the reality is that you are going to miss out on everything because you have not started now, because you're waiting to be healed, because you're waiting to figure it all out, because you're waiting to be the best in the field. You won't be. You have to just start. Just do the thing. Just make it happen. And this is one of the scariest things for so many people, because they've put their cards on, they put their bets on everything else. They've expected everything else to be figured out for them. They expect everything else to be done for them. And without you, none of these things happen. Like, I want you to imagine the best scenario in your life, right? But imagine the best case possibility, the best scenario of the thing that you desire to do being the outcome that actually happens, the relationship that you desire to be in being the real thing, the job that you desire to be in being the thing, the career that you start, whatever that thing is. Imagine that. Now, what steps did it take for that person that you're imagining to be there? I promise you that if you're convinced that they have to be perfect before they start, they never started. You will never start because you think that everything has to be perfectly ordered. And that is a logical fear, right? Because for a lot of us, we think, okay, well, how am I going to pay the bills? Or how is this going to get taken care of? Or what's that? And that's logic. You should pay your bills. You should have some type of salary, some type of income. But the truth is that without you, nothing changes. There is nothing that's fixed. There's nothing else that happens next. Nothing is new. Nothing is different. You just continue to do the same thing over and over again. And then you'll sit there and blame everyone else but yourself. You'll blame the people that did you wrong. You'll blame your parents. You'll blame your friends. You'll blame the atmosphere that you were put in. You'll have that mentality that is you're a victim, that everything around you is because there are people that have grown with so much worse and so many terrible scenarios, and they lived a completely different lifestyle. They did something new because they weren't afraid to take the next step, but you're going to continue to tell me that it's because of that situation, that it's that thing that you were in. Yes, it might be hard. But the truth is that either becomes part of your testimony or the story of why you couldn't do the thing. It's either this thing, I did it despite this, or I couldn't do it because of this. At the end of the day, that thing has no power. Its power is only dependent on you, what you gave it. So the question is, what's stopping you? Stop being afraid and step into it.